it's our time to step in the ring with the greatest tag team in podcast history. Just Freakin Wrestling, the JFW podcast, hosted by Travis T.
I'm Dizzle J.
And of course, to kind of repeat last week, Mary's here.
Woohoo!
And she's here for a special event because we are celebrating 50th episode today.
50!
50! Now, kind of like I mentioned, I think last week, Dizzle J, you're going to host this show.
I am, and
You are.
I botched the opening.
You
so
did.
We had to have you do it.
You did, which you know, at this point, 50 episodes in, I get it. You know, it's, you know, when you have, you know, when you don't do it ever.
Oh, yeah.
And you just get thrown right into it. I get it. I get the nervousness. I know, right? It's not as easy as it looks.
I started off so strong with it, too.
Though.
I had the excitement behind it and then just flatlined. Oh, man.
But it's the effort that counted.
Right, yeah. A for effort.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
33%.
30. But this is it. This is our 50th episode.
This is what we've been working forward to. We're over 900 views now.
We are. Actually, I just looked up before we started. We're at 915.
Nice.
Awesome.
915. Which I think our goal was to hit 900 by the 50th. So we absolutely did that. It was awesome. Would have been awesome to hit 1,000. But, you know, it's just one of the things, like when we sit there and you take such a break from it for such a long time, kind of like what we had to.
Yeah, well, we had to.
It's just amazing to know that when we did, right before we went on hiatus back in May or June of last year, I think we were only at like 400 something listens. So, I mean, the fact that we hit 500 views over the last 20 episodes is pretty awesome. So, and of course, you know, a lot of it is due to the work that we put into it as a podcast, but we can't do it without the people who listen to the show.
Definitely. And if you really think about it, too, when we came back stronger.
Yeah.
And it was so much better, so much more fun, too. I mean, we had a lot of fun before, but now you can really hear it when we talk.
Yeah.
And I'm actually listening to the show now, so.
Yeah, well, absolutely. No, and you know, you're right about that, because it's like I mentioned to you a couple weeks ago, you know, because of the 50th episode coming up and everything, I did go back and start from episode 1 to kind of like hear how, you know, we progressed and evolved. And really, before we took our break, before we kind of jumped back into it, there wasn't a lot of excitement that we really brought to it.
Right.
I mean, there was always a slow build to, you know, to that certain point of certain episodes. Yeah. But, you know, really, like, you know, I used to kick out the show like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time we're going to step in the ring. Like, there was no excitement behind it.
Oh, yeah, I remember listening to it
last time. So it was really dull and everything. It was such lackluster effort into it. But I'm glad that we were able to rebuild and come back to what we are now.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, when we look at it now, okay, like I said, 50th episode, we are hitting 50 today. This is our 50th episode. On top of that, we got the store up for the shirts we're going to talk about later on in the episode. You know, we have our network up, you know, FreakNet Studios.
I love that name.
So I'm excited for it. I got that updated on the on our store, if you will. So it says FreakNet Studios right there on top of it.
Nice.
Still haven't told Alan about it, but yeah, well.
If he listens to the show, he should already know.
Oh, God, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Of course he's a listener.
Well, of course.
Everyone's a listener.
We're going to plug his podcast.
Sure, right? Listening. Yeah, fuck yeah. But I'm really excited for it. And this, you know, it's just us moving forward and just getting bigger and bigger, you know. Like I said, like we are going to look into doing Patreons down the road. Kind of a benefit for us, but to kind of give more back to our listeners. As well as, you know, trying to figure out YouTube content and stuff like that. Especially when it comes to our pay-per-view predictions and stuff like that. You know, we're looking at getting a giant whiteboard that we can put up on the wall so we can write our predictions on there instead of the post-it note.
That fall.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, obviously, but next week we're doing predictions for WrestleMania, because WrestleMania is just a week away.
Yeah, and oh man, this WrestleMania I'm not really super excited for, though. It's sad, really.
Why is that?
Because I'm looking forward to the women's Raw match.
Which is the main event.
Yeah,
which is the main event.
It was announced that it is the main event.
And
this
it
is
should
the
be.
first women's main event for WrestleMania.
It's going to change.
I am stoked
It's got to change, though. With Charlotte winning the title on SmackDown.
Oh, definitely. I feel like Asuka.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a 4. It's going to be something. Or like we had talked about with Dizzle J and I, we had talked about how they might unite the women's championship into one main championship.
Oh, God, they better. They can't.
It's a possibility.
I get it's a possibility, but I hope that they don't, just because it gives the large amount of women competitors who are on Raw and SmackDown, their own separate entities to do what they're doing on their own.
Exactly.
The tag team, I get having the tag team champions being on both shows because they don't have the volume of women to make tag teams out of. Because if they did a tag team for SmackDown, tag team for Raw, you're pretty much gonna have the Iconics taking on
Naomi and Carmella.
Yeah, or Fire and Desire, whatever the fuck it is. But then when you do that, you kind of take them away from seeing competition, and then you're just left with Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky, and that's really all that's kind of left afterwards. You take away from the Iconics, Naomi and Carmella and all that stuff.
You really don't want to see that ring around keep going and going and going. You want someone in the mix at all times that's going to shake things up or be different. And right now, that's what they're doing. Yeah. So hopefully they stick with that.
And also, what was I going to say? It gives the women it gives them the feel of how it has been, before the women tag team titles and everything. Like now there's traveling. But Becky and Sasha, they had the title match on Raw like a couple weeks ago. Yep. They had the title match against the Iconics on SmackDown, but they actually defended those tag titles at NXT before that too.
Yeah, they've defended it quite a few times. Yeah. They actually lost to the Iconics in a non-title match. So I believe they're in a triple threat match with the Iconics and is it Jax and Tamina?
It's a fatal 4-way though.
Is it?
Because I think Natalya and Beth Phoenix are in it too.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I guess they are.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get more on that next week.
Yeah, and that's all next week and everything. We got a bunch of questions that we have to go over too. We're going to do that as part of the 50th episode. Huge shout out to all the guys I play Marvel's Contest of Champions with. That's an app game, really fun to do. They just poured in fucking questions when I mentioned
That's awesome.
Them. So it's really cool. Shout out to everyone who does the freaking 5 with us every week. Props to you guys. And also super excited. I fucking added to my Pops collection over the last week, so I'm really excited for that.
Those are nice, man.
Yeah, very fancy.
Absolutely. I got the Rock at S2.E13 when I went there. I got Kane, Shawn Michaels, Enzo, and Cass off of eBay. Never bought anything off of eBay before. I fucking crushed that.
I've only done eBay a couple of times.
Never done it.
And it's always just buy it outright.
I was always hesitant about it. Because I'm just saying, I don't know how they're going to show up, but they're fun. Dude, that fun guy, he packed everything into it. It was nuts, but super excited for that. But like I mentioned, Jay, you're hosting this show, so I'm going to kind of take a step back and allow 33% to fucking crush it.
33%, let's rock it. All right, we're going to dive right into the freaking 5. It was this week we did top female stars that need to go in the Hall of Fame.
Which I don't think a lot of people kind of understood the question.
No, I don't think so either. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with the internet guys first. Yep. Bobby, Mr. America from NXW, he said China, who is going in this year with DX, should have been on her own, but
No, I got you. Yeah.
Get her in. The Fitz, he said China, Awesome Kong, Sable, Ivory, and Charlotte. Charlotte eventually, yeah. Ivy went in last year.
Ivory went in last year, and like you said, China's going in this year. Sable definitely should get in, and Charlotte's going to down the road. Oh, yeah. Like she now holds she holds that title for the most women's championships.
8 championship
rings. Just like her father.
And then Awesome Kong, I could see Awesome Kong for Impact's Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
but not so much WWE Hall of Fame.
No.
I was just listening to what you had to say.
Staring over here off stably at me.
No, I was just listening.
All right, who did you have for this week?
Who did I have for this week? Well, with the retirement of Nikki Bella, that was released this week, I do think that the Bellas will be in the Hall of Fame very soon, especially with the publishment that WWE did send out stating that she would be a WWE Hall of Famer. So I do believe that Nikki Bella and Brie Bella will be in the Hall of Fame very soon, especially with both of their retirements going on air both this week and last week. I do believe they both deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. They did bring a lot to the women's.
Oh! You didn't silence the fucking phone.
I forgot.
This is like the movie theater. You understand?
Holy shit!
I never had my phone on, which is so weird.
And the worst part is you lost your train of thought, which isn't easy to come back to. Holy shit!
So the Bellas, and did you have anybody else?
Did you have the Bellas joining together or individually?
I think that they should be individual, but because they are the Bellas and they did come out as one of the first women tag teams to be so popular, because tag team women's was not a thing to ever go so high in the women's division. It was not a thing that was broadcast, so there was no women's title. It was not a thing that was popular, but they really made what the women's tag team championships what they are today, because they brought that to the women's division, where a lot of women did not. So I really do think that they should be joined together as the first tag team women's title champions to enter the Hall of Fame, because they really brought...
But they haven't been tag team title champions.
No, but they are the reason for tag team title champions, because there was never a tag team title in the women's division. Like, it wasn't heard of. It wasn't a thing. But the Bellas brought that to the women's division.
That's 2 out of 5.
Yeah, it's freaking 5. Not freaking whatever you want.
I think that Stephanie McMahon should also be in the Hall of Fame.
Which she will down the road, yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that she is very forgotten about. She was a wrestler, and she's amazing in the ring. Like, she's a great trainer. I do think down the road, Natalya should definitely be in, because she's like one of those star players. Even with today, she trains all the girls. Like, all the girls, even in NXT, they all train with her. And eventually she will be. But, like, I love Natalya. But as far as, like, women go, Melina, she was a great enforcer. She was a great bad guy. She had awesome mic skills, and I think she would have been great in the Hall of Fame. She's really forgotten about, but I think she was great. She made people hate her.
Do you know why she's forgotten about?
No.
Because she's easily forgettable.
No, she was great in the ring.
She did nothing.
She was amazing.
All she did is sleep with Batista.
No.
That's it.
She was with the... what's his name now? Johnny Mundo. But back in the day, he was Johnny... Nitro. And then...
Eminem. Which, yeah, she could definitely go in as a manager. I think she was Diva Champion a couple of times. So, I mean, she definitely has the ability. But your list is kind of one-sided.
What about Vicky Guerrero? She was amazing.
Vicky, yeah, I agree with
I
Vicky,
believe
absolutely.
she should be in the Hall of Fame.
You need to determine your 5. You have to make it set 5.
Yeah, now you're at 6.
Yeah, you're at 6 now.
Sorry, I started going.
Well, wait,
I got off track.
Yeah, you lost me.
That
She had
was
6
5.
with the Bellas being separate or together?
No, that was 5. Brie and Nikki,
Well, I guess if you did the Bellas together,
Natalia,
that's 5.
Melina, and Vicky. That was 5.
You also said Stephanie McMahon.
Oh, shit. Sorry. My bad.
Even
Can't
I
count.
know your list.
I get off track because I just started talking about women. I'm like,
Yeah.
Wow. All right, T, what did you have for yours?
God, you know what? I really want to tell you, but I'm like 50 seconds away from winning this Bailey's.
Did you say Bailey?
Hold
Bailey,
on, I'll go ahead and do mine.
Yeah, you do.
And then we'll come back to you.
Yeah, do yours. Yeah.
So I had Tara.
This is what I do when I'm not hosting.
So I had Tara.
Okay.
And then I had Luna Vachon as a manager.
Tara is Victoria.
Yes. Melina also as a manager. Maurice. And Michelle McCool.
Maurice, man.
Okay.
She's great. She was a woman's diva.
Who was Michelle McCool's tag team partner?
Layla. They were Lay Cool.
Oh, that's right.
Do you think Layla should get into the Hall of Fame?
I would think if they could go in together, that would be possible, because they were pretty prominent, and they had some great matches together against each other once they broke up.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they were...
Boom!
Whoa!
He won!
I won. I got my Bailey.
Got your Bailey.
I got my Bailey. Okay, so my freaking 5. Yeah, let me get to it. Which is interesting with your guys is because you guys did a lot of like early 2000s and current ones. Which I'm surprised that you didn't pick the oh god, who's the I can't remember. Maybe she was Japanese from WWF, like back in the day.
Oh, the Bull Narcano that I always.
I'm surprised you didn't pick her.
I
thought she would be on your list.
She was close, and I almost put Gail Kim, but then it was like her WWE run.
Close to who? Maurice?
No, I would have put her in over Melina.
I was shocked that you picked Melina, honestly. I didn't think that would be on your list.
So, my freaking 5. Victoria, right? Tara, if you will. Molly Holly. Mickey.
Molly went in.
Molly has gone in yet.
No?
No. She inducted...
Ivory.
No. Was it Ivory?
I thought it was.
Maybe. I know she inducted somebody. It might have been Ivory.
Yeah.
Mickey James.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say Gail Kim already?
No.
Okay, so Victoria, Gail Kim, Molly Holly, Mickey James, and Miss Elizabeth.
Nice.
Ah, yeah.
It's actually shocking that Miss Elizabeth isn't in already.
You know, it was weird because like when I was kind of like looking up, when I was trying to look at the Hall of Fame to find out who like was and wasn't in the Hall of Fame as far as women go,
Yeah.
which is weird because I never realized that there was no Hall of Fame ceremony between like 96 and 03.
Yeah, we had talked about that before.
Yeah. But, you know, they sit there and they list, you know, obviously, you know, the Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young are in there. China's going in this year. They have Lita, they have Trish Stratus, Beth Phoenix went in, Ivory gone in, everything. It was weird that, you know, Miss Elizabeth was never in there. I thought maybe she was, especially, you know, dying so long ago that already would have happened for her and stuff. But they came up with this list of blacklisted wrestlers and stuff like that. Like when I was searching for her, it's weird to think. Like,
I think it has a lot to do with her and Luger, and the way she may have died with I believe, drug overdoses, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, she OD'd on I think it was painkillers.
Yeah. And Luger looks terrible nowadays. I mean, life just kind of shit all over him after that. I think he's a preacher now. Hall of Fame induction, Hart Foundation.
Yeah. Why is it only Jim and Brett?
Yeah, where's Bulldog, Owen,
Pillman? Yeah.
It doesn't seem right.
No, there's something screwy about that. And I know a lot of it has to do, like may have to do with Owen's wife. I don't think wants Owen's name to be ever associated with WWE ever again. I think that may be a reason why he's not part of it. But you can't, there's no point in having the Hart Foundation go in if you already have one guy who's already a Hall of Famer. You might as well just put Jim in on his own.
Right.
Because now you're just saying that Jim has no validation to go into the Hall of Fame by himself unless he's stuck with Bret Hart, who already has that induction. It's almost the same with Harlem Heat. Like, what's the point of having just a tag team if, you know, it's just a way to get Stevie Ray into it? I mean, you already put Booker into it.
Right. I mean, Booker obviously went
He deserved it. Booker deserved it. I'm not going to take that away from it anyway.
But the Hart Foundation, it should have been at least Pillman and the Bulldog with them.
Mm-hmm.
At least. I can understand the Owen and his wife is totally against the WWE because of the things that did occur. We did see Jeff Jarrett try to reach out on the last Hall of Fame to the wife to help get Owen in.
Yep.
Deservedly so. And he probably would have had a Hall of Fame career that we would still talk about today. He may even still be wrestling in some way, shape, or form, like hopefully not like Ric Flair did.
Right now? Owen? He'd definitely be in the back by now. I don't think he'd still be wrestling
He'd probably be a trainer or something.
Yeah.
Or like a Fit Finley kind of role.
Yeah. He'd probably be like the kind of guy who'd be up in Canada doing like prospecting and stuff like that, trying to find the next big guy.
Maybe a GM.
Oh, God, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah, so I think having the Hart Foundation go in, which is deserving because we've talked about the Hart Foundation going in, it just makes no sense to me when it's only two people.
Right. You don't just put D-Generation X in as Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Right.
You stuck everybody who was in there.
Yeah. Which, you know, Rick Rude's not mentioned in that.
That's true, too. Has he been put in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Rick Rude went in on his own. But, I mean, everyone else is doubling up now and all this shit. I mean, especially this year, you have Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and Booker T all going in for a second time all together.
Right.
Which is weird to think that this is the first ever Hall of Fame where there's three factions going in. Like right now, they only have two individuals going in on their own. That's Honky Tonk and Tony Wilson.
Well, there is rumor that the next announcement is going to be Brutus, the barber.
I can see that. Beefcake? Yeah, I can see that.
I mean...
Hope he goes in as Havoc from NWO.
Hope he comes out with the giant fucking scissors.
God, yeah. But...
I don't know. I mean, Bam Bam, Vader.
Yeah.
To me, those are bigger names, but those are also the guys I was more.
No ECW this year.
No.
A lot of ECW guys deserve to go in.
Yeah, we had talked about that before. Dreamer,
Taz.
I don't think Taz will ever go in, though, because of their estranged relationship.
Taz will go in. Yeah, but you can't even look at, like, the estranged relationships anymore. I mean, like, look at the Warrior and Bret Hart and all that shit when it comes to WWE.
Jeff Jarrett.
You know, over time. Jeff Jarrett, yeah, all that.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if they continue on with that Sandman, possibly.
Sandman I can see going in, yeah. Rhino.
Sabu,
yeah, definitely. Well, the Sheik went in. Or, I'm sorry, yeah, the Sheik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman will obviously go in at some point in
Paul
time.
Definitely, oh yeah.
Definitely needs to. He deserves that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Shit.
Killing it, host. Let's go.
Killing it. All right, so we did reach out. We asked for questions from everybody. You got a lot of them from your Contest of Champions group.
Yep.
Nothing from anybody else. So
no. Well, no, that's not true. And I did list this. This is on me. Bob W. Went through Facebook.
Okay.
As well as Jason came through Facebook as well. So we did get 2 from Facebook. The rest of them did come from our country.
3 from Facebook.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Brandy actually did too. Actually, I don't think I wrote it on there, did I?
I don't see anything.
No, I didn't. So we'll start with that one since I forgot to write it on there. So Brandy's question to us was, like, how did we decide and what did we do to start up this podcast?
We just talked about it and did it, really.
Yeah. Do you remember the whole story?
I remember it was a vision.
I remember long conversations, like I think a couple conversations on the phone between you, me, and Alan.
Yeah, but even before that, like where the idea came up with. I mean, I remember the story.
I honestly don't. I remember talking about it and discussing what we were going to talk about. But
well, I'll tell you. I'll tell the story about how like the first idea came up. So you and Liz were hanging out at Route 50.
Yeah.
And you called me up to ask me if I wanted to hang out, which I've never been a big fan of that bar. Which nothing against that bar. I just it's just not my kind of place.
Right.
It's not your spot.
Yeah. So I went up there and I met with you guys and everything. And I was talking to you about doing a podcast. But not even like with like really me. Just, this was kind of like the beginning of the whole like freaking network. Trying to like grow things off and starting up podcasts.
You were doing Just Freakin' Show, right?
This freaking show was the only one I was doing at the time, yeah. And I asked you about it and you actually told me that you and a friend of yours were talking about doing a podcast. Where you guys would just talk about I can't remember what it was. Like, it was like music or random shit, like comics and stuff.
Movies and like pop culture, yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned that. So you're talking about that and everything. And I mentioned something about doing a wrestling podcast and not so much, me, running it, just being a guest on it because I wanted to do more podcasting. I just don't want to host more podcasts and all that stuff.
Right.
So obviously that didn't work out because here I am fucking
66%, bro.
Right? But yeah, that's how it all started. And that actually was, because we started the podcast in July of 17, but we had this conversation in like the fall of 16. Because we started going to SCW shows and all that stuff before we even started the podcast. Because even look at
that's so true.
Because even look at the history and the stories and everything from Facebook. It talks about us going to SCW shows. We did Facebook Live episodes here, post SCW shows, talking about the podcast starting up. Because we were trying to figure out how to do it and everything. And the thing is, when it comes to this freaking show, Derek is the one that edits all my shows. I sent it out to him and he does all that shit. So it took me a bit to kind of learn how to do it myself. Then we started the show in June of 17 and it ran for about a year and then we took a break.
And then we came back.
Yeah, came back and...
Stronger and better.
We came back, what was it? We came back, we did like one episode in November, an episode in December.
We're back 3 times.
Yeah. And then, then we started continuously through January and just hit the ground running. But yeah, no, the biggest thing was just because of, we talked about podcasting and came up with an idea on it. And the thing is, like, we wanted to start and focus just on independent wrestling. And it just kind of turned into more than that.
I think the great thing was like, we clicked to where we had always talked about wrestling beforehand, and now we're just like, give us a microphone, we're going to tell everybody about our opinions.
And that's the easiest thing when it comes to, especially to our podcast, it's just like we're just sitting at the bar bullshitting.
Right.
Like, it's not like this fucking, like, extravagant fucking, like, setup and everything. I mean, we're sitting at a folding table, for God's sakes.
I mean, and it's a great time.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just us bullshitting and talking. Maybe one day down the road, there'll be a studio and all this stuff, especially for Freaknet Studios.
Right.
And the overall goal is, YouTube and more content and all the other stuff. And
taking over the world one podcast at a time.
Fuck yeah. So for right now, it's just, this is what we're doing. This is our idea, and we're moving forward with it. Got the merchandise and everything, which we're going to talk about later on at the end of the show. And yeah, so that's my answer to the question anyway. So.
All right, so.
Right answer.
Fuck yeah, it is. It's me. Damn it.
You say Mr. 66% earlier?
Huh?
You're like 66%. I'm like, if you're 33, that's 99. Sorry.
You could be the 1%.
Can I?
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, best wrestler of all time.
Oh, man.
T, since someone's thinking.
Best wrestler of all time.
I guess, realistically, I should have fucking thought about these more. Of all time, the best wrestler probably has to be Shawn Michaels. Athletic-wise and promos and everything, it has to be Shawn Michaels.
Really? I'm shocked you said that.
And I wanted to say AJ, but to be honest with you, AJ's promos and interviews and stuff like that is not on par of what Shawn Michaels does. And Hulk Hogan, who is also probably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, he never had that in-ring athleticism that Shawn Michaels was able to bring. So when you sit there and you sit there, you kind of have to balance it out. Who entertains you, who, both on the microphone and in the ring, and who gives you something more than just, a body slam, a boot, and a leg drop. So
And when the music hits and you just get excited to see that person too, it comes into play.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. A lot of it's you could say Austin, you could say Undertaker, but overall, it's there's no match that's more exciting than Shawn Michaels' match.
I don't know. The Rock is pretty great. You hear that sound kick off and everybody goes wild because you know what to expect greatness. He's fast in the ring. He's great on the mic. He's a crowd. You could hate him and love him at the same time. He is one of the best. And he doesn't even have to be a wrestler. You see him, just kind of like John Cena. They had that charismatic charisma. You see them, they're the face of WWE. But The Rock, to me, is one of the best wrestlers of all time.
I'm going to go Undertaker because to me, he reinvented himself many times over successfully every time. In-ring ability, big man, able to climb the ropes and do that stuff.
Oh, and that presence.
Oh man. Love it.
Oh, man. I got a little goosebumps there.
It's goofy to think that, every time the Undertaker's going to be in a match, an entrance is going to fucking, what's going to happen in it, but it still gets you every time.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the wrestlers even say how intimidating that entrance is, and he just comes down slow. Even when he did American Badass, big old bike, that's fucking scary too.
The only thing about the Undertaker I never liked was during certain points, when he shaved his head into a mohawk, or wore that cloak thing.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of the leather jacket and the cowboy hat.
The ministry, his ministry look to me wasn't the greatest.
Well, not even that cloak. It was the newer one.
Oh,
the body tight one.
Yeah.
I was not a big fan of that. When he faced Triple H for the second time, and he shaved his head into that mohawk, and he just had that really tight fucking.
I think he had to have surgery, and they had to shave his. Had to shave.
Oh, I thought he just fucking hated long hair, and because that's why I read an article on he just hated maintaining it.
Really?
But yeah, the ministry one I was never really a big fan of the cloak thing. Kind of brought back to that whole Mordecai fucking thing that was going on. But the trench coat, the leather trench coat, the hat and everything. Fucking even back in the 90s with the big blue gloves.
Oh, the purple ones sometimes.
Yep.
He was scary.
But I would also, for a woman, for one of the greatest women, I would have to say be Trish Stratus.
Yeah. I agree.
Definitely.
But the problem is, this is the greatest wrestler of all times. You can't pick two.
I can.
Can't.
I want to. There's too many just to pick.
We'll edit her out.
Yeah.
Why don't they have stables anymore? That's what it says. Why don't have staples?
I was kind of trying to write this out as quick as possible. So basically he was asking why don't you see as many stables in wrestling, like you used to?
I think, to me, it got a little out of hand at one point in time, especially in WCW with the NWO, where practically everybody was in the NWO.
Well, yeah, you look at WCW back then, you had the NWO, the LWO, the Four Horsemen, the Misfits in action,
The Flock, right?
The Flock, the fucking 3 Count.
Oh, Jesus.
Everyone was a group.
Yeah.
The
Hardy
Millionaires
Brothers.
Club, the New Breed.
Jericho and Chris Jericho and crap, what was his name? The other dude. They're a tag team. It's Chris Jericho
The
and
WCW?
Oh fuck no. Well, I thought.
I'm pretty sure we've said fuck like 5 or 6
Oh.
times.
Yeah. Well, no, they're talking more about stables, not tag teams.
Oh,
like 3 or
okay.
more and stuff like that. No, I mean, WWF, they had a history of wrestlers and like factions and stuff of their own, but it's nice to take a break from it. Now they are kind of rebuilding it a little bit. Like they had the Wyatt family, they had to go away,
Yeah.
but now they have
Sanity.
not Sanity, but I'm thinking NXT. Adam.
Oh, Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era. I think that's gonna be a pretty good faction to come up into wrestling eventually. But yeah, they have Sanity, which you really, I mean, the only thing I've seen from Sanity in the last few months is when he came out with Shane McMahon last week, which made no sense. So,
But New Day, they've been the longest
New
trio
Day, yeah.
for a while.
So there are stables here and there, but I think that they're okay not, flooding the scene with the stables. It just let it happen naturally and move from there. And that's the biggest thing too. You have to find a stable that actually works. If a stable doesn't work, then it's just not going to stick around. It's not going to have that longevity. Like the Four Horsemen, DX, NWO.
Oh, yeah.
It's always got that nostalgia, evolution, and shit like that.
The Spirit Squad. They were a thing. They were 5 guys. And they were around for a while.
Impact had Aces and Eights, which was pretty...
Yeah.
It started off good, but then it just kind of tapered off. Once Devon got revealed, you knew Bubba was going to join.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Yeah, Aces and Eights, but I mean, even like you had Fortune, the main event Mafia.
Yeah, main event Mafia.
Whoever the fucking Hulk Hogan one, I just can't remember what the hell it was.
The
Immortal?
Canadians. What was the Canadian one, too? It was Eric Young,
Team
Bobby
Canada.
Roode. Team
It
Canada.
was just Team Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was one of the original TNA Impact groups, yeah. But Bullet Club.
Bullet Club is...
Yeah.
They're pretty prominent. Was it SC SoCal? Is Christopher Daniels and Kaz and I can't remember the other guy's name in Ring of Honor. They got going on right now.
Yeah. Well, then even Impact now, they got that, One versus All or whatever the hell it's called? OVA or...
Oh,
OVE?
no. OVE, Ohio versus Everything.
All right.
Or Everyone, whatever it is. Why isn't WWE using Bobby Roode right? Or are they using him right?
They're not using him right.
No, not at all.
No. They don't have anything for him.
It's just sad to see him get lost in a shuffle, especially with Gable.
Yeah.
I mean, Gable has no charisma as far as I'm concerned.
No. They dropped the ball with him too. They should have kept American Alpha together. They would have been a great tag team. But no, they're not using him right. He just got lost in the shuffle of everything, and that's the thing that sucks. He had the opportunity to do a lot more, but he just didn't.
What the hell does this say?
I don't fucking know. You're the host.
You wrote it.
I know. That's crazy.
Okay. Some stars, teams push too quickly.
What?
That's what you wrote.
That doesn't sound right.
Push too quickly.
Some stars and teams are pushed too quickly. So they're asking, why does WWE push people too quickly? It's kind of like...
Oh, and then forget about him?
Yeah. Kind
of like Sheamus, when he first came out. He, went for the title, and then he had it for a while, and then they just dropped him, and then he came back with his tag team with...
Yeah, I think he's wrestling more like Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor.
They pushed him way too hard, gave him the title right away,
Yeah.
and now they're not doing anything with him. And I think it really affects the integrity of the character when you do stuff like that. Unfortunately, you're not going to agree with it. AJ's the exception of it.
AJ.
They pushed him, and he fucking grabbed onto it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he just took SmackDown, started beating Raw in ratings.
Yeah.
And that's because of AJ.
He's got that stuck-up charisma like Rob Van Dam, and I can't stand it. He thinks he's just better than everybody. He thinks he's so much better. And then it's if he...
he is so much better.
He's not. Think of Chris Jericho.
You're probably the only person. You're probably the only person in the world that considers RVD stuck up.
He is so stuck up. Rob Van Dam, stuck up as fuck. cannot stand him. Do you ever watch him in the ring? He points his nose up. Like, he is so stuck on himself, and his body language is disgusting to watch. He's a very, like, one-person wrestler. You could see it. Body language explains everything.
What do you mean by one-person wrestler?
He is too into himself. I do not like the way he wrestles. I think he's sloppy. He's got one good move, and that's the frog splash, and that's pretty much it.
You realize that the greatest wrestler in the world that you said is the most egotistical person in the world?
Not at all.
He's referred to himself as The Rock.
The Rock, because can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
He calls himself the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
He is an electrifying man.
And you want to talk about egotistical?
Rob Van Dam sucks.
Every wrestler in the world is egotistical.
Oh, definitely.
Everybody.
No, but Rob Van Dam, you can just see
John Cena.
John Cena
is the most egotistical person in the world.
And the most giving person in the world.
No, he's not.
He fulfills more wish foundations than any other wrestler.
To make himself look good, yeah.
No, because he really cares for the kids and the things that they're going through.
He doesn't.
He has a heart for the kids.
He cares about looking good.
No, he has a heart.
Because he knows.
Because he knows it's like their last living.
Takes a picture of him helping out a child, it gets him more money in sales of his shirts and merchandise. Not at all.
He really does care for those kids.
He doesn't give a shit.
He totally does.
He does
not give a shit. That's what makes John Cena great. If more wrestlers cared so much, even Daniel Bryan, when they had the whole foundation with that kid that died, and they did that whole thing, that was magnifying. Like, it just makes them more of a person to relate to than someone who's so stuck on themselves. You never see AJ Styles doing stuff like that. You never see Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, because he doesn't need cameras there to do good deeds.
But they need to. They are so into themselves. You never see them reaching out to their community and helping their community or doing better as a whole. Everything is always on them all the time. They don't reach out. They don't do anything. And you don't see them doing anything.
That's not true.
You don't see them do anything.
Okay, do you realize you just contradicted everything you just said?
No, I've never heard of anything.
You said that AJ's always on himself. You just said you never see him do anything.
I know. I've never heard of it.
So how can
John Cena is constantly talked about his Wish Foundations and the stuff that he does for the community.
Of course he is.
Even Daniel Bryan is like
he needs to be.
No, he doesn't have to.
If he didn't do Make-A-Wish, he'd be nothing.
If more wrestlers did that, like Rob Van Dam and AJ Styles, then maybe AJ Styles would be okay. But AJ Styles,
talking back when Rob Van Dam wrestled, it wasn't. They didn't do a whole lot of that stuff.
John Cena also wrestled the same time period as Rob Van Dam.
RVD beat John Cena.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. Because he's awesome.
Oh, God, he sucks. But you never hear anything about AJ Styles doing anything like that.
That's probably because he's too busy with his family and taking care of his wife and children.
My opinion of him would change, but he is so stuck on himself. And it's just the way he presents himself, is you can see it. He doesn't think he has to contribute. And, like, people like Daniel Bryan and John Cena, they reach out to their community.
AJ went, right?
Reach out. Oh, yeah. For,
AJ
what
went
did
Saudi
you
Arabia.
say?
John Cena does
John Cena did all that. He went to Iraq.
He didn't go to Saudi Arabia.
No, he didn't.
He did not go to Saudi Arabia. Neither did Daniel Bryan.
So?
But AJ did.
They've done everything else. They went to Iraq while the war was going. Did AJ go to Iraq while the war was going on? No, I don't think so.
He wasn't with WWE at the time.
Doesn't matter. Did he go? No, he didn't go.
I don't know. He was probably in New Japan.
Doesn't matter. He didn't
Killing
go.
it.
Didn't go.
That's okay. Because he went to Saudi Arabia, which makes him a better person than John Cena.
Definitely doesn't.
Because John Cena's too political when it comes to his life.
How many Make-A-Wish does AJ Styles do?
Do you want me to Google it?
Yeah.
Okay. You keep going with your questions.
All right, so what is the greatest faction?
Shit.
For me, it's got to be the Horsemen.
You know, I was going to say the Horsemen, too. I want to say original NWO before everyone started joining was probably really good back in the the late 90s WCW. Yeah, I'm going to go with the original NWO before everyone started joining up.
And what would you say? We just talked about factions.
I don't really understand that word.
Faction, groups, stables.
Well, we just gave you 2 examples: 4 Horsemen, NWO.
I would have to say the Hardy Boys. I'm sorry, they're a tag team, but they are a faction.
It's not a faction.
They are like a product of themselves. They are like huge. Or the Hardy Boys, they're a thing. And then they had Lita, so it was the Hardy Boys and Lita, so there you go, there's 3.
So egotistical.
So, the second half of that question, the greatest tag team?
DX. Oh.
Greatest
You just reversed those 2 things.
Dyslexic. Happens. I get confused.
Dudley's has to be on the list.
Oh, Dudley's definitely. Edge and Christian.
I can't even put them in a tag team now.
Really? Why?
They accomplished so much on their own.
Yeah, they had
Well,
more
they did
single.
so much as a tag team as well.
Not really. They just did so much in like a short period of time. There's
Well,
no
then
longevity
the
to
Hardys, the
team.
Dudley Boys, and their ladders, chairs matches.
Hardys. The only reason Hardys are together because they can't do anything solo anymore.
No, Jeff Hardy can.
No, he can't.
He definitely can.
No, he can't. You see the whisper in the wind? He just falls backwards.
Yeah.
Tag team wise, probably I'm gonna go Dudley's.
Dudley's?
Yeah, Dudley's.
Mary?
Still thinking. I want to go with Nikki Bella and Brie Bella.
That makes sense.
Sure it does. I always enjoyed the APA. To me, they
classic.
and they come around every now and again. I love that.
Mhm.
That was JBL before he turned rich, snobby guy.
Yeah, well, it was also
Rich
pretty cool. I
Texan.
mean, the APA actually started out as the Acolytes in the ministry.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Like, I mean, they're one of the few that rebranded themselves.
I can appreciate some JBL. I love JBL. I think he's great.
Greatest catchphrase.
Oh, man.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Ooh, that is that.
Right?
You know what? I think, man, I don't think I can beat that one. Are you gonna try?
I don't know.
You can
We're moving
reach,
on.
but you can't touch.
You can't see me.
I was gonna say, woo! Love me some Ric Flair. It's a forever
That's a good one.
popular site.
Or Sting.
Yeah.
Or we could go with the Yes Movement.
I
It's
wouldn't.
huge.
I wouldn't do that.
Yes.
What could have saved ECW?
Investments, definitely. Honestly, the biggest problem I think with ECW, and it's really hard to actually kind of answer this because I didn't watch a lot of ECW. So
I would say,
Really?
production. They were always kind of a low key production.
Yeah.
They didn't have.
Didn't really advertise.
Heyman wasn't the greatest financial mind to be running it. Creative, yes, but
yeah.
as to run finance and stuff like that wasn't great. They didn't have a set time slot on any channel. You had to find them randomly.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest things that happened with them is they tried to do way too much before they're capable of doing it.
Right.
I think they're just pouring more money out and doing stuff. I mean, like they were saving money by like having the wrestlers do a lot of like the back work. But I mean, yeah, I think sponsors and so that they should have definitely looked into getting more of.
All right. Greatest women wrestler of all time.
Women's wrestler?
Women's wrestler.
Oh, man.
I don't know how this is hard for you. You said Trish earlier.
Well,
Right.
Trish, but then if it wasn't for Mae Young and
Mae Young sucked. Oh my god, no. Don't.
If it wasn't for them,
Don't. No.
Why?
Don't.
They were the start.
Don't. No.
Jesus.
Don't. Don't say Mae
What
Young.
is her name? Why can I say they had the Mae Young?
First
tribute
off,
because of her.
you've never seen her wrestle.
Actually, I have watched.
No,
There
you
are
haven't.
videos.
You've
Yes,
never
I
seen.
have.
You've never seen
And
her
she
wrestle.
has showed up in the WWE and had a fight on the air. Yes, she did. If you want to
So
Google
she
it.
got Bubba Bomb
When
to the
she's
table.
80. When
Still,
she's 80 years old.
80 years old
Oh,
and kicking ass.
God.
Hell yeah.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't it be great if you're 80 years old and in the fucking middle of WWE just fucking kicking ass? That'd be
Not
fucking
one bit.
awesome.
Not one bit. She slept around a bunch of divas.
So, she's still
I mean, no. God, no.
bitch slapped some bitches and called it a day.
No.
I think there's a lot for
You're-
women. Mae Young is a huge
You're-
attribute.
You're such a mark. God.
I'm just
You're
thinking, like,
you're
like
so-
there's a reason for women wrestling. Her and
You're,
God, what is her
oh,
name?
God. You're pandering
I
now.
cannot
Oh,
remember any of the
shit.
girls around here. But they are the reason that women have wrestling today.
So who is? Who is the greatest female wrestler of all time?
There's so many, but I'm just gonna give it to Mae Young.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually go. I'm gonna go China because power. She was athletic. She did the handspring, elbow into the thing, into the corner. I think she brought up the women's champion when she was first intercontinental.
We going with Transcend?
Yeah,
Okay. Just checking.
yeah. See, you knew where I was going. I believe she was the first woman Intercontinental Champion.
Only, I think.
Only.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
First woman to enter men's Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
China, yeah.
It's difficult, ain't it?
Yeah. I'm going to say Charlotte.
Charlotte
I give you that.
Yeah. I think out of every wrestler that's come into WWE, I think she shows the most athleticism. Probably the most athletic. Backflips. Oh, fuck yeah. Charlotte.
Should WWE buy Impact?
Yes.
No.
Why?
Because they'll ruin their own brand.
How?
They have their own brand. They're Impact Wrestling. Why does WWE need to buy them? When they have made it on their own this far. It would just be marked as another WWE thing and it'd be the same storylines. It wouldn't be different wrestling.
I'm going to say yes to get all the video packages for...
And on NWA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Billy Corgan owns NWA.
Yeah, but I thought that was all part of Impact. Or not.
I don't think so.
Just
I think they partnered up. I don't think they're under the same umbrella.
No, I think they should just because Impact, I think, is slowly falling apart on its own. And I think there is a bunch of talent that's in Impact that could benefit from going to NXT. And a lot is video and stuff like that.
Get the old AJ Styles, the Samoa Joes, Daniels,
Roode, yeah.
all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Ronda heel turn storyline.
Dumb.
I don't like. I like that she went heel. I don't like the way that she did it.
No,
you know what I mean.
No, they could have done everything a lot better with that. I think.
I don't understand why they had to get her husband involved.
I don't know. I did like how she was like saying how WWE is not MMA.
Right.
Like she's showing more of how fake everything really is, but she's not really following up on it. It's kind of goofy. And plus her husband being part of it, dumb.
This is a loaded question. Benoit in the Hall of Fame.
No.
It'll never happen.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
And then the last question we got.
He should be, but he never will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. 2004 Royal Rumble, Holly versus Brock match. Well, shit, I guess I should have read these and watched this match.
Holly versus Brock.
Say it again?
It says Holly versus Brock.
Oh.
I'm going to guess hardcore Holly.
Yeah, that was the, you were talking about the match where I believe Brock Lesnar broke Hardcore Holly's neck on the powerbomb.
Ooh.
That was the one where, remember back in WCW when they were talking about William Regal getting like shooting on Goldberg?
Yeah.
It was the same thing.
Oh.
So it was basically Holly not being happy with Brock Lesnar, getting the push and everything he was, and kind of working stiff with him and making him actually work for it. It wasn't a bad match, but I mean, Holly went for winning the business for himself.
I always enjoyed Holly though.
Yeah.
I remember when he came on as the NASCAR driver. And then slowly...
And Crash Holly came in, and Molly Holly. There was another one that was a very long fucking question that was asked. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Okay, here it is. Oh shit, yeah, I forgot how long that was. Alright. Pro wrestling is a sport that has continued to evolve like all sports do. This has led to new trends and a growing changing culture. What do you think is the most beneficial new trend and or culture of pro wrestling?
Ooh. I would say the striking has gotten a lot better over the years.
A lot of people are focusing more on like forearm shots and like the punches and everything, which it gives it more of a realistic thing. I mean, obviously the biggest one is, how women evolved to be part of the brand. Yeah. And not even WWE, like everywhere. It's like Mary said last week, when we were talking about Lucha Underground, it's like, they have the women fight the men. I mean, that all happened when we still had divas.
Yeah, that's very true.
And of course, social media is a huge thing nowadays too.
I think social media kind of killed kayfabe though.
Oh, it did.
And that was sad. That's sad.
Second part of it was, let's see here. This is, who the fuck sent this? I can't remember. Anyways, I'm a fan of the classics, and I believe classics are classics for a reason. Who do you think shaped the foundational culture of pro wrestling that has led us to the current culture today? I give my shout out to the Ultimate Warrior, who gave the most entertaining interviews in the history of wrestling, even if one could not understand any of it. To look at from his aspect, Macho Man definitely had one of the most entertaining interviews and stuff like that. But realistically, when you sit there and look at like the culture of how everything is, you look at Mean Gene Okerlund, because you can't really have a good promo or an interview without the guy who does the interviews. True. And it doesn't matter who Gene talked with. You know, he got the best out of everybody.
But what about the Giant?
Andre,
yeah. If it wasn't for him, would big guys be as popular as they were? Because he really brought a lot to the table.
You're focusing more on wrestling, not the interviews. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Andre, but he was like insane interviews.
Well, the big thing with Andre is he had Bob Heenan talk for him.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, he gave a presence. I mean, it was nothing that anyone's ever seen before. I mean, before Andre, it was like Big John Studd, if that.
Yeah, and I think he was still maybe even close to a foot shorter than Andre.
Yeah, and with Andre the Giant, I mean, like he was undefeated for years before Hulk Hogan ended up having that WrestleMania 3 match with him.
The body slam.
Mm-hmm. One of my current questions is, if Seth Rollins is allowed to win the championship at Mania, do you still want the WWE to employ Brock? Is Brock worth anything in a feud that doesn't involve a shot at the belt?
No.
They need to get rid of Brock.
Yeah.
It's a waste of space.
Brock needs to go.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. It has nothing to do with him. I mean, he is a draw, but because of the talent that they have, they need to kind of like explore more of that. I mean, they need to have a Universal Champion who's not just there once in a while like Goldberg and Brock and all that.
Yeah, you need to be there at least on the show every week, defend it once a month, and he's just not doing it. Keep Heyman, get rid of Brock.
Do you think having another major promotion helped the WWE writing team push themselves? I kind of feel like without the other major promotion pushing them to try new storylines or push the wrestlers to do better in the ring and stuff, it causes it to get stale.
I mean, when WCW was going at it, they were doing amazing with storylines and everything else like that. I think you need that competition to make yourself better.
Yep. Here's in. I think storylines do get a lot better when there's competition out there. Right now, there is no competition that really causes WWE to worry.
Right.
So, AEW, maybe if it grows, it could be more. But right now, I mean, AEW is no different than, like, Impact. Like, but even Impact is a little bit more than AEW right now. Now, AEW is probably going to grow because they have the money. They got the billionaires, funding and everything.
Yeah, right now they're a t-shirt company.
My question is, do you think wrestling is missing top-name talent? I'm a casual follower, so I'm not up on everyone is there currently, but I haven't seen a new wrestler gain national popularity status since John Cena. Seems they're leaning on old fan favorites still. Yesterday you mentioned Triple H, and I was really surprised. He's still a major factor. I love that guy, but he shouldn't be a guy anymore. He shouldn't be the guy anymore. So do you think wrestling's missing like top name, global name talent, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, stuff like that?
Yes.
I think they got it. I don't think they got it on that level of
Who do you think that guy is? Who do you think that guy is?
Unfortunately, it's probably Roman that gets shoved down our throats.
Yeah. Roman Reigns.
AJ.
Yeah.
I want to say that's all.
Daniel Bryan?
Daniel Bryan's got... I mean, he's known worldwide, too, so...
He's probably one of the biggest in the company right now. If we're going popularity.
Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd probably be more popular if he went to Saudi Arabia, but...
He just came back from a devastating ending career injury.
Yeah, he should have stayed. There you go.
Career ending and came back. AJ hasn't done that.
Oh, we're at 55 minutes.
Oh.
Do you have your final freaking thought?
I do have my final freaking thought. I'm going to do the pick of the week first, which we discussed right before the show.
Yep.
And we decided to go with Bryan, Batista, and Orton, a triple threat match at WrestleMania 30 for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, which I think is probably the best one to decide on right now, just because of Batista coming back to to wrestling. This is going to be his first WrestleMania back since this WrestleMania. And also with Daniel Bryan going into WrestleMania to take on Kofi Kingston.
Right.
The B+ player, which Daniel Bryan was looked at in this match as well. So I think it kind of works out best for it.
All right. So the freaking final thought?
Yeah. Final freaking thought, but sure.
Whatever. 33%. WWE burying Asuka.
No, they're not burying him.
You don't think so?
No, I think they need a different storyline for it. And honestly, I think there's something with Asuka. I think maybe injury related or something like that. But it's like I said before. I think they're going to change the main event. I think Charlotte's probably going to end up facing Asuka at WrestleMania. But no, I don't think they're burying her right now. No.
It almost felt like it.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like a burial match. You know, it was just.
No, it was a great match. They put on a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Moxie Molly, the turn to Kamikaze.
That makes sense. I think I called that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I called that a while ago. Not for this match. We got to do our results from SCW. No, we don't got time for that. Do it next week. Yeah, no, I knew she was going to do a heel turn. She needed to do a heel turn.
I mean, her outfit was cool. She went back, changed, and came out with a whole different attitude and everything, and then just kicked some ass. Yeah,
no, I'm glad. I think it definitely gives her a better... it's going to help her in the long run to not focus so much on fucking children slapping her hand and throwing confetti than it is for her to focus on her. To be egotistical and focus on just her.
Next NXT call-up.
None, yeah. Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
I don't think the whole Undisputed Era is going to come, though. So it'll definitely be Adam Cole or the Velveteen Dream would probably be a good one, too. But Adam Cole.
I'm surprised Dream hasn't been called up yet.
Yeah.
Are you buying into the AEW hype?
Not yet. It seems it's just a bunch of people from like Ring of Honor, New Japan, who kind of just, making an additional branch. Until they get a television deal and stuff to be televised, no.
Gargano, rumored to go to 205 Live.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Gargano to begin with.
I didn't think you were.
No. I think him and Corey are going to put a good 2 out of 3 falls match on a takeover, yeah, but Gargano, I think he could be the thing to help out 205 Live, but yeah.
There's been talk about making a women's Intercontinental Championship, though.
No.
Don't think so?
I mean, it'd be cool, but they need to, give a lot of focus to the tag team titles first. Maybe down the road, yeah, but they need to get a lot more women in there, and
yeah, that's what I was going to say anymore.
Or they have a women's show.
The SNL guys and the Andre...
Dumb.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb. It makes no fucking sense to me why Saturday Night Live's even part of it.
Saturday Night Live's awesome.
Yeah, but these nobodies are fucking useless.
They shouldn't be in the ring. They're great outside the ring and stuff like that.
No, but they're great hosts, and that's what you need for a long show. You need a person that can keep the audience entertained.
Maybe.
That's what they're
I don't
for.
watch Saturday Night Live. I try to stay away from stupid shows that focus on politics. So, yeah.
No, it's hilarious.
Yeah, if they stayed away from politics, I absolutely would watch it. Same reason I don't watch The Tonight Show or The Late Show. Or
It's not all about politics. They
most
make
of
fun of other things, too.
Most of it's political. Especially, these guys, they do that daily update thing. Yeah. It's all political.
That's just about the news.
No, and also I think it kind of takes away from Braun Strowman. I mean, you want to talk about burying fucking...
Right.
Which is weird because, maybe it's just me, but Braun looks like he's in a lot better shape nowadays.
Oh, no, he totally is.
Yeah,
and more toned up.
Yeah.
He's definitely beefed up.
Yeah.
The Usos forfeit.
Good. Yeah, I think it added to the storyline.
I thought that
there
was
cool. There was no way to keep the Usos the kind of tag team they were if they were to lose to the New Day.
Right.
So I think that was the best way to do it, is to allow them to forfeit, because it keeps them as the tag team without losing to a tag team who got their ass kicked by everyone else. And they don't want to be known as the guys who cost Kofi the fucking main event.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it was very classy of them to do.
Hmm.
Pick a 5-man SCW team to go against ARW.
Okay. Hunter. Mulligan and Ricochet. I'm assuming Ricochet's an SCW guy, right now.
Marche.
What did I say?
Ricochet.
Same thing. It's all the same thing.
It's all the
Yeah.
same thing.
So,
Sounds like
Black Irish, I'm assuming they're going to be Team SCW, which is weird because I didn't see Marche at the last show.
Nope.
So, Hunter, Marche, Mulligan. Trying to remember the guy's name.
Which one?
The cowboy.
Baylock,
I think would do good. It just sucks because the Manson family hasn't chosen a side.
I don't think they will.
Probably not. And Gager. I would love for Gager to come back.
That'd be cool.
Ian Gager, yeah. So that'd be my 5 out. Hunter, Marche, Mulligan, Baylock, and Gager.
If you had to, who's winning the invasion right now between SCW and ARW?
ARW.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, the thing is, it's you see a lot more of ARW wins in these, cross-brand matches and stuff like that. I don't know how they're doing it. It blows my mind because you would think SCW is more of the powerhouse guys.
You would think so.
Yeah.
The double going through the tables match last week.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, last week.
that's a great match.
Yeah, no, ARW, right now ARW definitely has SCW's number on everything that's going on. So it's weird to think. I don't know what's going to happen, going forward. It's nice to finally see Hunter kind of step up and be that leader,
which we talked about last week.
So so I'm happy that happened finally. Yeah. Yep. That's all I got really on that. That's all I got to say about that.
Well, that's all 10.
Cool.
So that was a little bit of a hard list. It's getting harder to make those lists.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, well,
it challenges us, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So tpublic.com. Our t-shirts are up there. Go there, search JFW. I am terrible at this.
I know.
I'm terrible.
You were doing so good at the hosting, man, until this moment.
Until this moment.
I'll do it. Is that okay? Is that okay with you? Can I do it?
Yeah, hey.
Wow, just take the lead.
Okay, so we talked about last week, JFW, along with this freaking show, are now part of the FreakNet Studios.
Yes.
And FreakNet Studios has a store to buy merchandise at. tpublic.com. TEPUBLIC.com. No, if you go to tpublic.com, TEEPUBLIC.com, type in JFW, you'll find all the shirts there. We got the Mr. 33% Dizzle J shirt, the original Freak Travesty shirt, as well as the JFW logo shirt. We are going to work on more shirts going forward. I just got to get the right designs and stuff for it because we do create them ourselves. But you can buy them from there, get them shipped to your house through tpublic.com. And of course, what's awesome about it is every product that's bought and sold through TeePublic, we do get some kind of profit off of it. So it goes back to the company and helps us. So. Yeah, so if you're looking for any kind of merchandise, shirts.
A brand new shirt?
What? Pillows, stickers.
So now you want to butt in.
Yeah.
So now you want to join.
I started remembering stuff.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you tell them what we have?
Stickers, pillows, shirts. You get all kinds of t-shirts, long shirts, jerseys.
Sweatshirts, yep.
Sweatshirts, hoodies.
Phone cases. Laptop cases.
Oh, that's right.
Tapestries, posters.
The hippie thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Wall
coffee
art.
mugs, yeah, travels mugs, yeah. So, and the thing is, our logo's up there. Our logo could just get put on anything. So, yeah, check it out. tpublic.com, TEEPUBLIC.com. Just search JFW. It's going to come up. And, it's one of the things that we're happy we finally were able to do. The This Freaking Show stuff's on there, too, but don't worry about that because you guys are wrestling fans and we want to sell wrestling merchandise.
Definitely. Oh, don't forget about the hashtag FSteve shirt.
Hashtag FSteve's on there, yeah. Hashtag FSteve is up there.
That was one of the first original shirt ideas we had.
Yeah. We do got a couple more ideas. Hashtag Where's My Dollar?
Yeah.
Will probably be one that we do. A win's a win. Shut your talk hole.
Shut your talk hole.
Your taco. Or talk hole.
That's a whole different other shirt for that one.
Shit.
Probably a whole different other podcast.
Yeah. And hey, to you pregos out there who have fucking babies coming along, onesies too. So yeah.
Even the little freaks can have something.
Little freaks, yeah, fuck yeah.
Little freaks. That's cute.
Yeah. So yeah, tpublic.com.
TWE.
Were you gonna do it?
No, I can't remember how to spell public, so I stopped.
TEPUBLIC.
Okay, I was like,
.com.
public.
Just search JFW.
I had to write it in front of my face.
Sounds like the Jeff Jarrett.
TEEPUBLIC.com. Just search JFW.
Oh, God.
I don't like fucking silence, bro.
I don't like silence either. I'm baffled.
This is the first time
So
I've
don't
ever
forget to
seen
follow us
struck
on
for
Facebook.
words.
JFW Podcast. Search it, find us, like us, follow us. We do a lot of fan interaction.
Yep.
Twitter. Are we still doing Twitter?
We have Instagram.
The only time I ever really use Twitter is when I share some photos from some shows and stuff we go to, but not so much anymore. Twitter's dying, man.
Yeah, Twitter is dying, and that's been the report too.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram are what we focus on.
Follow us on Instagram. You'll see pictures from shows and stuff like that we put up.
Definitely, that show was awesome.
Yep.
Literally on my seat the whole time. Edge of my seat the whole time.
It's not easy being the host, is it?
No, not at all, man.
Oh,
especially this one. You appreciate me a little more with no?
Yeah, but seriously, it was great.
So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow the link on our.
Not so much the Twitter, but the Instagram and Facebook. Right?
Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at JFW Podcast. Let your friends who are wrestling fans know that you can find our shows on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and Spotify.
This was just like one big show to fuck with me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were killing it until you let her get in your head.
So easily done.
Make sure you follow us. Again, we hit 900 views on our podcast, and it's all because of you guys. So let's shoot for 1,000. I know we can definitely do it.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna do that because of you guys. So make sure you follow us. If you follow us on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, Spotify, make sure you follow us. Click the follow subscription button. Give us a 5-star rating and give us a review and stuff like that, because that does help us out too as well. Not only to kind of get feedback from you guys, but it kind of pushes us up in lists and stuff that iTunes and stuff put out there as far as popular podcasts, which is what we're trying to be. And Facebook, make sure you follow us because we do our freaking 5 on there. That's where we do notifications on the shows being released. And we also do the match of the week that Dizzle J puts out every week as well. That's all I got. How about you?
Time to ring the bell on this episode.
Perfect. As always, I am Travesty.
I'm Dizzle J.
I'm Mr. Barry.
And for the 50th time, thank you for listening to another episode of Just Freakin Wrestling, the JFW Podcast.
Peace.